Hi there, it's Cristiano the Great here. Going to be talking to you about correlation and scatter plots today. So let's take a look at question 3. What is the relationship between the independent and dependent variables in the scatter plot shown below? We can see that there are some test scores here ranging from 55 all the way to 100. And then we could see that there is the hours of sleep from 1 hour of sleep all the way to a nice 10 hours of sleep. Now we're being asked, does this graph represent an undefined correlation, a negative correlation, a positive correlation, or no correlation? When we look at this graph, it appears that those who get less sleep seem to score lower on the exam. Those who get more sleep seem to score higher on the exam. There is clearly a connection between hours of sleep and test scores. Therefore, there is a correlation between hours of sleep and test scores. The question we must ask ourselves is, do we call this a positive correlation or do we call this a negative correlation? If I very quickly draw a line of best fit through this data, I can see very clearly that I have a line that is increasing. Therefore, I know that this correlation is a positive correlation. Okay, next question. The scatter plot below represents the relationship between the number of peanuts a student eats and the student's bowling score. We can see the bowling scores all the way from 50 up to 300, and the number of peanuts eaten from 0 all the way to 60 peanuts. We are asked, which conclusion about the scatter plot is valid? 1. There is almost no relationship between eating peanuts and bowling score. 2. Students who eat more peanuts have a higher bowling score. 3. Students who eat more peanuts have lower bowling scores. And 4. No bowlers eat peanuts. Well, when we look at this graph, I see that there are some students that eat about 10 to 20 peanuts, and some of them have low scores, and some of them have high scores. I go further along to students that eat a lot of peanuts, and I see the same thing, that some of the students have low scores, and some of the students have high scores. Therefore, I can say that there seems to be no connection between number of peanuts eaten and number of bowling score. Therefore, I see that as compared to the one before, there doesn't seem to be a pattern with the graph. This one was definitely going up and could be modeled with a line, whereas this one just seems to be all over the place. So let us now look at our question. 1. There is almost no relationship between eating peanuts and bowling score. We'll go back to that one. 2. Students who eat more peanuts have higher bowling scores. Well, that's not true. We can see that students who eat many peanuts also have low as well as high bowling scores. So this is false. 3. Students who eat more peanuts have lower bowling scores. This is also not true. We can see that students who eat 10 to 20 also have low and high. 4. No bowlers eat peanuts. That is obviously false looking at this graph, because we can see that every bowler on this graph at least eats some peanuts. Which leaves us with 1. There is almost no relationship between eating peanuts and bowling score.